We are here on the stream. Y'all hear the angelic vocals. That only means one thing. Time to holler at your locals. You feel me? You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, what's up, y'all? This is Kenny Sparks from the Kenny Sparks channel. We have DJ from Movie Time Minute. We have Jason from Screens and Reviews, feeling very zen, feeling Jerry Spin, feeling very awesome. So thanks y'all for joining
the stream right now.
I don't know. I'm just saying things. I'm alive. It's 9 o'clock at night. It's 10:15 at night. And
yeah. It's only 9:15 for me. I got an extra hour from you guys.
When I'm nervous, I rap. That's what happens. I just start rhyming.
I heard the bars, Ken.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Got more bars and some soap. That is
making some rapping. Yeah, they instead of Eminem, they call me Skittle.
Ooh.
Okay.
Platinum, baby. Come on.
DJ said, taste the rainbow. Anyway. So, yeah. Basically, what I was saying was, hey, welcome to the stream. Thanks, guys, for coming in and joining us. We're going to be talking about Ahsoka, episode 8, the finale. And then we're going to transition into Loki, season 2, the debut. So I still got bars and it's natural. Anyway, so thanks everybody for coming through. Let's get into some of the comments before we get started. But before we get into that, DJ, how are you doing, man? How's the night going?
I am fantastic. I got to watch Gen V today. I got to watch Loki today. I'm getting to hang out with a couple of great guys.
Nice.
Not to be too mushy about it, but
it's cool.
I appreciate it. It's a good day. It's a good day.
We need more man mush in this world. Jason, how you doing, man? How's life? I see you got new posters.
Yeah. You know, upping the game a little bit with some new background digs for you all to look at. Life's going good, you know, ups and downs, but keep going, man. Keep going.
Yeah, man. Well, since somebody asked me, since I'm not important.
How you doing, Ken? Let me be the one. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing well. Just, you know, I like you guys. I watched Loki. We literally just got finished watching Loki together.
Yep.
Not 10 minutes ago. And I was seeing Ahsoka on Tuesday night. So yeah, man, it's just a good time. So let's get into what we came to get into, and then we'll let's just start with some comments, and we'll keep it moving. Also, make sure to like the stream so it can spread to the masses. Also, make sure to subscribe to each and every one of our individual channels that is in the description. That's me, DJ, as well as Jason, and then we also got our guy Zach Attacks Reviews, who can't be with us tonight because he needs a break. Let that man take a break. Yes, but during his break, it'd be nice if he came back to some new subscribers. Anyway, so let's go through the comments, and we will start right now. So we got our guy Dark. Just gonna say it here 40 minutes before. Oh, just going to say it here 40 minutes before. Thanks for being here, Dark. You're the man. If I don't make it, I am dead asleep. I'm glad I read the asleep part because I thought it was dead. I'm like, oh my God, no.
Yeah, like,
but we'll try to say it.
Let's get him.
Yeah. We have the Cosmic Broadcast, Jonah. He says, just wanted to drop into chat and say how much I appreciate these YouTubers on the stream right now. Y'all are amazing human beings. Thank you, Jonah. Much appreciated. You're the man. Dell on movies. Dell, what's up, man? Love the fact that you came to join us. I have an uncle named Dell and an aunt named Dale.
What?
Yeah, it's a long story.
What?
Yeah. So 80s kid from the 90s, my guy. Oh, 80s. It's good. Yep. Loki season 2 is good. Can't wait for the next week. I feel the same, actually. That's a little sneak preview. I'm assuming that's Michael Jackson. I don't know. Maybe it's he. Who knows? Wow. Okay. So Loki season 2 drops today for me. Haven't even came out yet. Man, that's those. Gosh, it's not New Zealand. Why do I always think it's New Zealand?
Norway. He's in Norway.
He's in Norway.
Yeah, he's in Norway. Yeah.
Awesome.
DJ, don't you have a stream coming up with him?
a week from tomorrow, next Friday, I'm going to be 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, because that's still 8 p.m. his time. We're going to be doing a stream talking. That is Friday the 13th of October, and we're going to be talking horror movies that day.
Not,
So
isn't that the perfect day to do it?
It'll be a fun live stream. Yep.
And then he says, "Oh, never mind. It just came out. I'm just late, I guess." Well, I'm glad you got to see it.
I was like, what?
We are late. We are late. We are late.
Yeah, hey, I don't know if we told you. We figured out how to do individual chats after that.
Right. Yeah, we were like, learning. Why is it doing all three? Yeah, we're learning.
We figured it out though. Yeah.
Jonathan Smith.
Hey, little bro.
Hey, I haven't watched Loki yet. I'm here for Ahsoka. Nice. We're going to start with Ahsoka.
Yep.
We are doing Ahsoka first. About to start. Ahsoka was great. I'm actually really happy to hear that from 80s kid, because I know that a lot of times when we talk about Star Wars, he hated the sequel series, and I understand. So I'm glad that he had some good Star Wars to hold on to. That makes me happy that he's happy with Star Wars. I need that Black Series Ezra figure with his new lightsaber. Absolutely. Alrighty then. Oh, by the way, spoilers.
Yeah.
Let's see. Alrighty then. He.
We do have spoilers written across the bottom of the screen there.
Yeah.
At the end of that little thing there.
Yeah. It's the last
part. You guys are
It's the last part.
Right
there. Okay, there it is.
Hey y'all, you got Tim Jong-un Productions. He's the guy that we know from Discord, from a YouTuber Discord, and he's awesome. I actually just checked out one of his videos. I believe it was on. Oh no, it was on how. Oh, let me check, because I get them mixed up. I'm going to check right now. It's either how Bambi and the Lion King are similar in the ways in which they kill protagonists, but how that's not like. Oh no, that's not him. This is something else. He actually did a comparison between Jesus and the main villain of Saw and how they're the same. And that was amazing.
Interesting.
Let me actually make sure that that's correct. I could have got it right. Yeah, promoting videos. All right, so let's see. Yes, no, I'm right. Yeah, so he did the Saw is Jesus Cristo comparison. Let me share it right here. Yes, this is his page here, and Jigsaw from Saw is secretly Jesus. I want you guys to go check this video out. It's actually freaking hilarious. So I some people may be sensitive to the Jesus Cristo, but I would say listen to his points. You might not agree from a theological perspective. However, I found the video to be pretty funny. Oh, here's the all button. So I'll be responsible for this one. And just make sure. So I put that video in the comments. You guys go ahead and check that out. Bada bing, bada bang. So yeah, go check that John out. Dell on movies. Didn't watch Loki yet. I'll probably dip out when you guys get there. Dark movies. I'm gonna head out and go to bed. Have an amazing rest of your day or night. It's night for sure. I have no sense of what day or time it is. I've been there.
It's got to be like 4 or 5 a.m. for him right now. He's been up all night. That's crazy.
Wow. Nice. Tim Jong Production says, yes, I'm the guy who made the Jesus Christ video. LOL. I just put it in the chat. Hopefully people go and check it out. Subscribe to Tim Jong's channel. Sure. I'm dead ass, as they say in New York. It's really good. I'm from Philly, so close enough.
Yeah, I think I'm closer than you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wait, Jesus and Jigsaw. I need to see that. It's in the chat. Let's put it in there. Hopefully that link works. If not, use the old copy and paste. And we have Miss Minutes. Not the villainous one. She says, "Hey guys." Oh, matter of fact, DJ, why don't you read your wife's comment?
Yeah. Hey guys, haven't seen Loki yet, but looking forward to watching it tomorrow, where I'll be watching it for the second time because she was putting the kid to bed while I was watching it with you guys tonight. So
you know what's funny? That's typically how I watch a lot of the Disney Plus shows, I watch it by myself because when they were coming out at like 6 o'clock in the morning, or no, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, I would wake up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, watch it because I had to go to work afterwards. And honestly, the real reason was I like traversing the internet, and you know that's the one place all the spoilers are going to be. So I would wake up at 6 a.m., watch it real quick, and then go on about my day. But then I would have to watch it again with my wife later on. Yep.
Yeah,
so
that's how we're used to doing it for the most part.
Yeah. So guys, let's get into what we came to get into. We're going to talk about general thoughts on. We're going to talk about our thoughts on Loki. We're going to talk about our thoughts on Ahsoka episode 8, as well as the Ahsoka series, maybe season, in its totality and what we thought about it. We're going to do a little bit of spitballing, but we're also going to be doing a little bit of balling, shooting our shot at different aspects of the show.
Do I need my basketball?
The top of the dome, you know what I'm saying? No.
You're a genius, Ken.
No, I don't know about that. I think I'm just too hyped up on sugar. But so, Jason, I want to get your positive. What we're going to do, we're going to do a little bit differently tonight. I'm going to recap the episode real quick. I'm going to recap the episode real quick, and then we're going to do our positives and negatives. We typically have like specific subjects lined up, but I think we'll just get into it because we have a lot to cover. But yeah, so pretty much what happened in this episode was the band got together. Ezra built his lightsaber and finally wielded one after he told everybody that I don't need a lightsaber. I got the Force. Apparently, between the last episode and this episode, somebody finally told him what the hell was going on. So he was like, "Oh, okay, cool. We're going to fight Thrawn." Yeah, I thought, Sabine, didn't you tell me that? Anyway, so then we move on. We get to them getting to the temple to pretty much try to. Oh crap! My laptop's at 10%. That's never good. So we pretty much get to see them go ahead and attempt to stop Thrawn. They do get their ship shot down, so they have to go on a little bit of a walk, Lord of the Rings style. And they make it to the temple where they go through a ground assault. They attack the stormtroopers. They kill the stormtroopers after the stormtroopers gave themselves up for the sacrifice when the Night Sisters, or the Witches of Dathomir rather, said that, hey, you guys good to sacrifice your lives for a little bit of Thrawn? And they were like, yeah, let's get it on. So they do that. They get killed by Ezra. Sabine, who was actually really good at fighting this episode. I do want to give her props for that. And Ahsoka, who was very slow in her movements. And so, yeah, they make it up the steps. They do a hallway scene. They go after Thrawn. Sabine uses the Force and pushes old boy over to the ship. Thrawn escapes. Oh, my bad. I forgot to mention that Morgan gets a promotion to head witch, and then is promptly killed off by Ahsoka. And Thrawn escapes. He says, haha, deuces. You were like Anakin. I wasn't going to stay around to let you do Jedi-like things, so I'm just going to get out of here. I'm not facing you one-on-one. Thrawn gets back. Ezra gets back, but steals a ship to get her off the ship and then goes to see Hera and the boys. He comes off the ship full stormtrooper garb, doesn't take off his helmet first, which was an interesting choice because they could have just shot his ass as soon as he got off. Why
did he even need it? Well, no, I'll get into
it. No, you're right. He could have just, once he got on the ship, he could have just took it off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's alone on the ship. Why is he still wearing that helmet?
Exactly. When you get in the house, you take your hoodie off and you just relax. Yeah. So he was on the ship. He could have chilled out. It's probably hot in that joint. So you got to believe it's hot in the stormtrooper suits. Like, there's no way it's not. But
I assume that they just have like some circulation thing because it's the future, man. I'm like,
I mean, maybe, but
actually, it's a long time ago.
That's true. That's a good point.
If they're doing hyperspace and those suits don't have any air or ventilation, come on, man.
You're talking about the same organization that allowed a flaw in their Death Star to be
Right.
shot at
Right.
from outside the 3-point line. So
Crazy.
they pick and choose where they want to spend their money. But you're probably right. They probably do have ventilation. But I also get the idea that they really don't care about their soldiers. So who knows?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Fodder.
Yes. Yeah. So Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ahsoka and Sabine and Yang and the crew are stuck back on Paradine. I think that's what it's called. Paradine, and they're like, "Hey, we're stuck here, but I feel like this is where we belong." And then you have Captain Balin on the other side, standing on top of a gigantic statue, which I believe is reminiscent to what we saw in the Clone Wars, when you had the daughter, the son, and the father. That whole prophecy situation, which, to be honest with you, I don't fully remember. I just remember that happening. And then you have Shin, who says, "I'm the leader of the Nomads now because my master abandoned me for reasons." So, yeah, that's pretty much our overview of the episode. Now we're going to get into specifics. We're starting with Jason. What do you think about the episode? Like, what were your positives on the episode?
Right. So the positives for me, I can say that I did enjoy how they were finally going after Thrawn. Um, I feel like this episode wrapping everything up, it might have had some more that kind of annoyed me than
Okay.
anything.
All right.
But it was good to see the zombie stormtroopers.
That was cool.
Didn't know that was a thing or could happen,
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, this show showed me a lot that I didn't think could happen. So witches and I had no idea the how much witches were actually in the Star Wars universe. I didn't even know that, I mean, the action was good. I liked seeing Sabine, Ahsoka, and what's his name? The
Ezra?
dude's name. Yeah, Ezra. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Come together, kind of fighting them off.
Mm-hmm.
The action was good.
Yeah. So, guys, I need you to have some grace. DJ and Jason have not seen Rebels, so relax. A lot of us are coming into the show with brand new perspective. So, chill.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't read the books.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't.
Don't at me.
I've read the comic books. I got a bunch of them Jones over here. Anyway, yeah. So, DJ, why don't you tell us what you thought, positive wise, with this particular episode?
So I've been trying to think about something that I liked.
Oh no,
no, no. I will say the entire fight between Morgan and Ahsoka, that was a great fight. I enjoyed pretty much every bit of that. I was very satisfied with that particular part of the episode. I'm hard pressed to find much else. I didn't dislike this episode. I can't think of a lot of like moments that I'm like, ooh, I really like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
Outside of that fight, it was cool to see some different things. It was nice to see Thrawn win, to give him some more credibility as a villain. Just similar to Thanos in Infinity War, like it's good to have your villain get a win here and there, just to show how formidable they are. So I liked that happened in the episode.
Yeah.
I agree with you, DJ.
That's
when I'm at work, people are talking about the episode and they're talking about Thrawn. Now, some people are like, "Oh, they didn't do Thrawn right." I have no context.
I don't. People have been saying that
at work. People are like, yeah. He's a like super, not genius, but like military. Like military genius, and he can, strikes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But honestly, in this episode, I actually feel like we got some of that. So like, even when he was like kind of standing there, he was like giving the orders and things were happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
from my perspective, like he's been doing that since he showed up. I felt 100%. Like every single episode he's had a moment actually several moments where you can see the gears turning, and then he gives an order, and he usually wins. Like typically, the entire thing with Thrawn is that he's not physically stronger than anybody. He's not. He doesn't have the Force. He's just one step ahead of everybody. And I really thought that they did a really good job of portraying him in this particular season in that way. I know some people had complaints about a dad bod, but that man's been on that planet for like 10 years. And people get old, y'all, even aliens. Like it happens.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if you guys knew this, but the person who played Thrawn is the same voice actor for him from the Rebel show. I think we lost Jason. But
Looks
yeah.
like, or at least his camera.
Yeah, at least I'll take Jason down for now. I'll keep an eye. But yeah, so it was basically like the same thing, the same exact thing that we saw on the Rebel show. You know what I mean? So I don't think that he was actually too different from what we would come to expect from a Thrawn.
That's Lars Mikkelsen, right?
Yep, Lars Mikkelsen,
which is Mads Mikkelsen's brother.
Right, and he was Director Krennic in Rogue One. My favorite tie with Empire Strikes Back Star Wars movie. So yeah, so basically I thought that he was really good in this episode. I thought just like you said, the fight between Morgan and Ahsoka was great, especially the way that it ended. It was great to see Ahsoka actually like take somebody out. You know what I mean? Like mercilessly. Like she took her out. I did find it kind of funny. It's a trope that I'm not in love with in some shows, not just Star Wars, but most shows, where the villain gets an upgrade and then is immediately killed, and you're like, dang, like that upgrade meant absolutely nothing. And you really couldn't tell.
I kind of feel bad for Morgan.
I feel bad for her.
Yeah, it was like, oh yeah, that's right, because Thrawn played her. Was like, so you're staying behind, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Like she did her role or whatever. I'm like,
for the Empire, right?
Right.
All right. Yo, but the funniest thing is,
travel to another galaxy to save you, and you're gonna just throw me to the wolves.
Crazy.
Exactly. Yo, she had no backup plan. Like that's wild. But you know, the funniest thing about it is me and DJ were watching the episode together, and when she was told that she would be staying behind for the Empire, me and DJ were like, did anybody tell Thrawn that the Empire is gone? Like they doesn't exist. Like, and I feel like no one's communicating with Ezra, nor are they communicating with Thrawn either. So it's actually really funny. How all of the people that they came to rescue, they're just giving them the least amount of information as possible. But I do want to backtrack to talk about just the fight between the Ahsoka, Ezra, Sabine versus the Dark Troopers, because I thought that fight had its ups and had its downs. So we'll just do Ezra gets in the action. So so for one, I really thought that for the most part, the fight is good, but I think it also highlights some of the worst parts of this series, which is the fighting is slow sometimes, like really slow. Like you can see the moves happening before they happen. You thought that was all of the fights?
No, with all three of these guys fighting in this, I didn't think it was just Ahsoka that looked slow. I thought Ezra looked slow and Sabine looked slow too while they were fighting.
You know, it's funny. The person,
I would say it's almost like slow motion, and seeing those stormtroopers, them lasers were the slowest I've ever seen lasers going towards somebody out of a gun.
I mean, you know, so I want to cut them some slack a little bit. They were zombie lasers, and you know, zombies are typically slower, right, than your normal walking. So once they transform into zombies, I mean,
the light goes slower.
Where there's a will,
zombie. Now the lasers are self for zombie.
I mean, these guys are smoke ghosts inside of the. Which reminds me, so Merrick was literally just a setup to tell us that zombies are coming, which is interesting, frustrating, but not that much. It's just a nitpick, only because I hate when characters with good designs, especially like aesthetic designs, just end up being killed without being used. And I thought that Merrick had a really cool design. But DJ, you were talking a little bit about what you thought of the fight. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think I hit the high points on it. Like I thought it was fine. It's just that I felt like all the way through it, from the time they arrived to the end of the fight when Ezra's leaving and leaving the others behind or whatever. I just felt like the entire thing was like they slowed down the cameras to show you that they're hitting the lasers with their lightsabers and stuff, and it's just not. It didn't feel real. It didn't feel right. It felt very whoa, background has changed. Messing with my eyes. I had no verisimilitude, I guess I could say.
Whoa, big word points. I'm gonna have to Google that later. Yeah. So, Jason, what did you think of the fighting and everything like that?
Yeah, it wasn't anything too special. I mean,
Okay.
it was typical. It was pretty typical.
Mhm.
The slow. So I didn't. I don't want to say I didn't notice it, but it was like the slowness of it didn't bother me. But I think that's what made it not like, oh, exciting. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's almost like I was waiting to see how they were going to get out of the situations,
Yeah.
but it was lackluster actually. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
to
for
me.
me, I actually thought that the fight was pretty good. Well, let me correct that. I thought that some of the fighting was really good. I thought some fighters are actually better than others. To my surprise, the person who we've been ragging on all season looked like the best fighter out there. Like when she had the guns out, she was chopping people of African descent down. I was about to say the N word, but
once they told her to put away the lightsaber,
right? And I'm glad. So that's actually a really good detail because Ahsoka was like, "Okay, listen, I know that I haven't trained you. Oh yeah, what about when I think it was Ezra or no, it was Ahsoka. She's like, remember your training, and I was like, what training?
What training?
what training? What are you talking about? The
I
last
assume
time
we're in the negatives
Yeah.
now. Is that what we're doing now?
no,
I mean, it just flowed in that direction, Peach.
yeah,
Like, it just flowed there, man. It just
no, but
flowed there,
seriously,
man.
Because I got some things.
yeah, no, I definitely want you to go. I'm just saying, like the idea of remember your training. When the last time we saw her actually training was on that planet where they had the key, right? And
Right.
basically, what happened was they started off that episode. I think it was the episode before where she was training with Yang, and she didn't know what the Force was. I mean, she's aware of the Force's existence, but Ahsoka was explaining the Force to her, and she was doing like weapons training. However, it really seemed like Ahsoka had never told her any of this before. So I don't know what training she was supposed to be remembering. But I'll finish up my thoughts on the fight real quick. So I did think that Sabine was the best fighter there because of all the slow people who I think most of them were slow. Sometimes as slow as the zombies. I never understood zombies catching up to people if they're moving slow. Run. But anyway, I thought that Sabine was dope because she was really taking dudes out. But when she actually pulled out her lightsaber when Ezra got grabbed at the top of the steps and shot through that dude, I was like, oh snap, that was dope. And then she slashed the door, and then that went crazy. So, but DJ's burning with intensity
No.
1,000 cents.
This ain't episode 6 again. I'm not that upset with this episode, but I just felt like it was very anticlimactic. Like I did 6,
Okay.
but in more of a this is the direction you went with this. This is how you're going to finish this. You know.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say anticlimactic. That's the perfect word. And I know, listen, man, I know they want this to go on forever. Season 3, 4, 18, right?
Yeah.
I get it. But those cliffhangers, baby, ooh, rough. I was like,
were there cliffhangers?
I mean, the Ezra getting off the ship with the thing, and
well, I guess the Balin thing was a cliffhanger.
And
he was literally hanging off the cliff.
Balin,
because
Shin, Ahsoka and Sabine being left behind.
Yeah.
Arriving alone, not knowing where Thrawn's going or what he's up to now.
I thought what was going to happen is Ezra was going to get off. I kind of knew that was Ezra first off, right?
Oh yeah, everybody knew.
So I thought he was going to be like, oh, let's get the ships out there, let's hyperspace back. We got to save them. Come on, guys. Nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Like so, like you're saying about like
them.
the ending of the episode. I actually really felt like it had some. It tied up some. It didn't tie up some things. It did. It did what it was supposed to do. So even, this is something I might make a video about like soon. But the idea of something being predictable automatically being bad is something I've been seeing a lot. And I'm not saying that you guys are saying that, but I've seen that a lot in where people are like, oh, it's predictable. Well, predictable isn't necessarily a bad thing. Predictable is fine as long as it's executed well, right?
Right.
Every boxing movie, probably except for Rocky 1, ends the exact way you think it's going to end, right? Every Marvel movie, which I love, most of them end the exact way we think it's going to end. The good guy wins, right? And in this situation, this was a little bit different, even though we could predict that Thrawn was going to win because Thrawn needed to win. Otherwise, you brought this guy back. He was highly touted, and then he loses in the first episode. It just would seem like that would be that. I feel like more people would be mad if Thrawn lost than if he actually won. You know what I mean? And like the predictability in this case was good. You know what I mean? So I really do think that yes, it was predictable in some senses, but it was also had some surprises as well, and not all of them were good. So let's get to some negatives, and I'll start with this one. Good.
No, go ahead. I'll get to my thing in a minute.
Yeah, but actually, before we get to negatives, let's hit the chat so we don't get overrun.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I have a feeling we're going to say the same thing anyway.
Yeah, there's a particular person who I want to target, and it's not Sabine. Let's do this. Let's get back up. We're going to run through this quickly. So, did anyone get the answers they wanted in my video? I'm making one for next month. I'm not sure if you put out those videos yet, 80s Kid. Let us know if those videos are on your page.
He put out a video with a bunch of the questions today. I watched it earlier today, and it was really cool. Yeah, I got a chance to check it out, 80s Kid. I know he answered mine and yours and Jonah's, and it said part 1, I think. So he may have more to go. I'm not sure. But yeah, because I know he answered my question about what figure that hasn't been come out would he like to see, and he mentioned Sidious.
Gotcha.
From maybe episode 3. I don't remember which one he said, but
nice. Okay, so everybody, I want you guys to go check out 80s Kid from the 90s page. He actually just put out a video for us, or not for for the people who answered the question for him, and I cannot wait to watch it. I'll be checking it out after this. And if you guys haven't subscribed to 80s Kid from the 90s, I encourage you guys to do so. He is the man. I'm going to show you guys exactly what his page looks like so you guys know what you're looking for. Up. All right, so this is 80s Kid from the 90s page. One day ago, answer to all your questions, volume 1, and I'm sure he'll be putting out volume 2 as soon as possible. So thanks 80s Kid for answering all their questions. He put questions in the community page, and I'm really happy that he did that. So can't wait to check it out later on tonight. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and like his video as well.
80s Kids is awesome, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So let's see what else we got. We have Ahsoka is the queen of Disney Plus Star Wars shows. Okay, high praise. I mean, her only
he really liked this season.
Yeah, and I saw that. I really do like that he liked this season.
Disney,
queen of Disney Plus Star Wars shows. So yeah, probably, I feel like her only competition is probably gosh, what is the Mandalorian woman's name who's not Sabine? The Queen of Mandalore. I forget her name.
Bo-Katan?
Bo-Katan. Yeah, it's probably her only competition, really. So he didn't want his lightsaber back. He's talking about Ezra. He's like, I don't want that thing back. I haven't seen it in 10 years.
My argument with that is once he saw how Sabine was fighting with it, he should have just forced that lightsaber back over to him and used it because he saw she was useless with it in that fight when
Yeah.
because he's sitting there trying to like force karate everybody, and like, dude, if you had a lightsaber, you'd be flying through these people, and obviously Sabine's not doing it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Says,
was my thought on that.
Tim Jong-un Production says, thanks for the shout-out, guys. I haven't seen either show, but happy to listen to you guys talk about it. Well, thanks for joining me, man. And of course, you got a shout-out because your video was dope. And anything that's dope, I'm definitely going to highlight. 80s Kid says, Sabine is a Mandalorian Jedi who is an heiress to Tar Vizsla. It's poetry, so it rhymes. Remember that, guys. So that was another highlight I had of the show. One of the things I wanted to see was a Mandalorian with the helmet on and a lightsaber. And she did that for me. And actually, I thought that she was pretty good with the lightsaber this episode. She apparently ate one of Mario's mushrooms and grew in her skill set. So can't be mad at that.
She learned from osmosis. So once she got stabbed with one, she learned how to use one.
Yeah. So here's something I think is going to piss some people off. I know people are like, oh, how does Sabine grow that quick? I want you guys to tell me the amount of time between the time Luke learned about the Force and the time he blew up the Death Star. I want you guys to tell me how much training he had between those two events. Anyway.
Just because they did it in a way they shouldn't have then doesn't mean they should continue that streak. I mean,
well, but that's always kind of like that's always kind of the comparison. Oh, how is she just going to do this and that? And it's like, well, Luke did that, Leia did that, the boy in the Tide Pods, not Tide Pods, because that's not what they're called.
TIE Fighters?
Not TIE Fighters, because that's not what I'm thinking about either. Pod racing, the dude in the pods did that. So all these untrained people have been being able to do amazing things, and she actually can fight. So I don't get too hung up on it. Remember, Luke blew up the Death Star after being on the job for a day and a half, maybe. So Jonathan Smith says he gave it to Sabine so she could become a Jedi. It was hers, not his anymore. Amen to that. Dell on Movie says, I like the series, but Rosario Dawson's lack of speed was a drawback, and this is from a guy with a big crush on her. It's hard not to have a crush on Rosario Dawson. That's number one.
I agree with Dell. Because and I'll say this, like, even from episode 1, it was like her fighting was a little sluggish.
Yeah. And I agree with that. Like, I don't disagree. I think her best fight was the one when she was fighting Anakin. No. I'm sorry. The best fight was I think the first time she fought Balin was the best.
Balin.
Okay. But I mean, I think she showed a lot more emotion when she was fighting Anakin.
Yeah, I mean, because it was an emotional situation.
Now, I will say it does seem like she sped up a little during that fight with Morgan compared to what she had against the troopers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that might be her best. We should do what was Ahsoka's best fight. I'll put that poll in my channel. Yeah. So you will enjoy Rebels if you decide to watch it. I know. I don't know if you decided to watch it, Jason. I know that you're deciding to. Oh wait, that's going to be soon because the show's over, right, DJ?
Yeah, I'm going to start watching Rebels now because I finished this and I want to watch Rebels and then come back and watch this again. But I want to say something to this point. I keep getting people telling me you can't criticize Ahsoka because you didn't watch Rebels. That's gatekeeping right there is bugging the heck out of me because I shouldn't be forced to go. I haven't felt that way with any other Star Wars show, and this was that point I was making at episode 6. I haven't felt that way where I've had to go and watch everything before to understand what was happening in a show until these last few episodes of Ahsoka. And to me, that's a problem. Like, you are pushing away potential audience because they haven't watched an animated series that they didn't, it's just not been on their radar maybe up to this point. And now they've got to go watch how many seasons of another show before they can watch this live action show that they're excited for because they saw her pop up in Mandalorian. So that's been an issue for me. And I just hate that I keep getting these comments like, well, it's your own fault that you're not liking the show because you didn't watch Rebels. Like, no. Right. It's not my fault.
Right. But I think the other important point, though, is who's to say that if you watch Rebels that you'll actually like the show anymore?
Yeah.
Like, people always put these like A plus B equals C, but that's not always how it goes. I'm
Yeah.
going to go through a couple more real quick. Jonathan Smith says Thrawn always wins. That seems to be the case, except for the end of Rebels, of course, when he got shipped off. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, he's still alive. He survived. So did he lose?
Right.
I need the Thrawn merch. I agree. I wonder what Thrawn merch looks like. Am I going to wear a blue mask this Halloween? There's only a couple times the Rebels ever beat Thrawn. See? JYO. What up, Jay? I'm assuming this is for you, Jason.
What's up, man?
What's good?
That's my boy. That's my boy. I think Jonathan Young, guys.
That's what's up, man. Thanks for joining us. He says, "How could they? They were in another galaxy." LOL. I don't
know what he's referring.
Yeah, I don't. Sorry. This is why we need to catch up with the comments quicker.
Yeah.
Ezra survived. I'm so glad I was wrong. Yo, man, I told you I didn't think Ezra was going to die because just like bringing back Thrawn just to have him lose at the end of a season with only 4 episodes of him, there was no way Ezra was going to die because you would have tanked the rest of the excitement for Star Wars. It would have been a terrible idea. But yeah, LOL, the lasers do look slow. Like it was easy to dodge. Yeah, it did feel like laser tag out there. The stormtrooper zombies were a pleasant surprise. I agree. Like we kind of figured that. Actually, I feel like a lot of people thought that they were zombies before they even got to this point. I know that Jonah was saying that from the Cosmic Broadcast was saying that they were. I think they're called night troopers. But yeah, they turned out to be alive. So here's what we need to ask ourselves. All these stormtroopers were alive for 10 years. None of them rebelled. None of them went out and did their own thing. None of them went and started their own community and like, a farming situation. Like none of them, they all just stayed on the ship for 10 years. Like I was saying before, Thrawn has no power other than his brain. So they could have jumped Thrawn. You never know. House of L Comics.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man? Hi, guys. I haven't watched any of this, but I wanted to show my support.
Thank you,
problem,
man.
Uncle Minutes. Appreciate you. What up, Jason?
Yeah, that was to me. Yes.
Yeah.
What's
Yo,
up,
what's up, y'all in the chat? Love when people talk in the chat. We're actually almost. Oh no, we're not. Zach says "yeah," and I returned the "yeah." He actually said "yo," which is actually more of a Philly thing. It was not anticlimactic. It was awesome. That's to you guys.
Hey, I'm glad he liked it that much. I mean, and I'm going to iterate. I did not hate this episode. I did enjoy it.
No, he didn't. No, I was there. Like we were watching it together. He was kind of burning up. He had his like Sith lightsaber lit up just in case. But yeah. Oh, that's right. Right on the elbow. So that's easy access Capri Sun right there. You could just take somebody out. Jason Entertainment says, "Hey guys." Hey guys, how are you doing? So glad to see you guys. I understand what Jason is saying. Too many things not explained, and you don't know if there is going to be a season 2 for the movie.
I'll just speak on this just a little bit because
no, go ahead, speak on it because we're just going to stop the comments here and go.
Gotcha. Because I'm just like, how many times have you watched a show, gotten so into it, and then all of a sudden you don't get a season 3 or you don't get a, you know what I mean? Like they don't finish. Yeah. That's frustrating.
Netflix's whole model.
And I'm just, I'm just like, it. You just don't know. And we hope to get a season 2.
This show
the way things are going at Disney and all the strikes and the writers and all, whatever.
Right.
It's like we just don't know. And I just wish they would have just tied it up in a nice little bow and then went on to a new story for season 2, if there was one. Yeah.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I definitely understand where you're coming from. I think though that the reception of this show, from what I've seen in my very small sample size, I put a poll on my page earlier today. It really seemed like people enjoyed the show. Now, a lot of people. I'm going to go back to that poll because what if I'm wrong? And votes change. Sometimes you got to recount votes. So yeah, I'm actually looking at it now, and I'll show it right up here. I love technology, man. once you guys like once people learn, not you guys, but because I know you guys know, but once people learn like the screen share thing, like it's easier. Let's take this down here, and we'll also take this banner down real quick. Yeah, so Ahsoka has concluded. Time for your final series rating, right? I don't know why this is here. 43% said it was excellent. 20% said it was good. 16% said it was meh, and 20% said it was awful. Now, if you add excellent, good, and even meh together, it's overwhelmingly, I would think, in Disney's eyes, positive, right? You want more like good, excellent, good, and even meh. Like even as people are like, it was all right. That's way better than 20% of people saying it was terrible. You know what I mean? So I like I said, I know this is a small sample size. Only 44 people voted on this, but it also seems to be the overwhelming consensus that people are between excellent and okay. And there's, of course, a few people who think it was horrible, which I do want to mention this. Everyone's thoughts on it are valid. However you feel, you don't need like it. You should feel that way. Don't feel invalidated because other people are enjoying it. If you did not like this show whatsoever, that's totally fine. At least you want to go see for yourself. That was not intentional. At least you want to go check it out for yourself. So yeah, everybody's thoughts on it are valid, no matter what it may be. You might hate it. You might think it's the worst thing in the world, and I might disagree with you. But that doesn't mean that your opinion is any less valid because I have a camera and a microphone. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was my short PSA. But let's get into some other parts of it too as we continue. We actually thought that we were going to wrap this up in a half hour. The Ahsoka portion. I don't know why we believe that. But there is one particular thing I want to get to, which is Balin. And we can get into negatives from here. Balin was performed well by Ray Stevenson, very well. He might be the best performance in the show. Absolutely, he might be the best performance in the show. So. However, and I know that they probably, I'm sorry, not probably. I know that they weren't expecting for Balin or for Ray Stevenson to pass away. Right. So it can't be faulted too much that his situation wasn't wrapped up because, of course, you think he's coming back for season 2. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason in your mind for you not to think that that gentleman wasn't coming back, right? So, but however, even with that being said, I was kind of disturbed by, not disturbed is a little strong. I was kind of perturbed by the constant from episode 1 to episode 8, I'm after something. I'm going after something. I'm here for a different purpose. I'm after this. I'm after power. I'm after blah, 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 blah. And we never really found out, we never really found out with any specifics what the hell this man was after. Like, so we have ideas and theories and stuff like that, but he was vague to the end. And I feel like that was bothering me because the way that they set it up, it always seemed like at some point they were going to tell us, right? So although I like the Balin character a lot, great actor, great performances, great fighter too. Like he was no joke. He was giving Ahsoka that work in that first fight until he got his horse stolen in the second one. So like yeah, and also I know I didn't put out my own video for it, but last week I was really kind of perturbed by him saying deuces to Shin. Be like, hey, I'm done training you.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What you just leaving me? What are you talking about? Like, and I know he's a Sith, but Sith have decorum. They have manners. They say goodbye when they hang up the phone. Like these aren't people who like are just asshole. These aren't people who are just jerks for no reason. You know what I mean, they're evil and they have their own, ways about them. But I feel like they would tip the waiter. So I don't understand why he just like Shin. Good, Jason.
I mean, didn't he say in one episode, I'm training you to be like better or stronger, something
more
like
than a
that?
Jedi.
More
Yeah,
than a Jedi, right?
right.
He ain't train her.
That might have been the episode before, and then in this episode he dipped off.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
He's
like,
a deadbeat master. Like he
I
just
thought they were
left.
just gonna be. I thought they was gonna be together. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then training and nothing. I'm
right.
just like, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what to make of that. He definitely like went to the store for cigarettes and never returned home. So yeah, I'm not really sure what. So that was my biggest. I think for me, this entire episode, that was my biggest issue because also he didn't show up until the end of the episode, which is fine. I've seen things like that with Game of Thrones where they'll do all the things and then kind of like sneak peek a character that you've been waiting to see like at the end of the episode, then they
Right.
move on to the next season, right? So that isn't the worst thing in the world, but I just didn't like the fact that we didn't know what he was after, even though they were hinting at it the entire series. If Balin seemed like a loyal soldier the entire series, and then in the last episode, you realize he was after something. Now we're waiting for next season. Oh snap! He was really after something else. He wasn't
Right.
even about that throne life, but they
Yeah.
set that up from the beginning. So yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on Balin's just role, like in the series, in this episode? However, comment.
Well, I'm sorry, DJ. You want to?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
say
I thought he served his purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was really there. He was almost like an enforcer, you
Yeah.
know, like
Mhm.
doing the witch's bidding at first. Once they got to the other planet, then it's like Thrawn came on the scene and he kind of like, whoop, well, we
Right.
don't need you anymore. And
Yeah.
then maybe they wrote him out or something, you know. He didn't do much.
Yeah.
He didn't do much, and I was kind of upset because I was like, he was such a strong like mountainous
Presence. Yeah.
character,
Mm-hmm.
and then training this little one, you know, Shin.
Yeah.
I thought something was going to happen with that. Nothing, you know.
Yeah. She seemed absolutely bewildered by him just leaving.
Right.
But yeah, DJ, did you have any thoughts on that in particular?
Yeah. So I got some things.
Mhm.
To piggyback on you and also give a little bit of a disagreement on something. This is a character that they kind of told that he had a different motive from the start of the show up to the end, and then they left us hanging with it. And I know other shows will leave storylines open for other seasons.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you've got this many storylines that have been teased from the start of a season and you barely close off any of them and you leave all these others open, that's not the recipe for a great show as far as setup, because what you need is for these plot points to be finished while creating new plot points for another season, because otherwise, I mean, I come out of this whole series because of this kind of stuff with a better understanding of my wife, because this entire show was built up through several episodes that I was really enjoying. I was getting excited for. And then the last couple episodes, I'm like, oh, well, this ended abruptly and was disappointing. I understand my wife better now. So
DJ. DJ.
So what I'm getting at is
DJ.
Keep a straight face now. What I'm getting at
wild. Yeah.
is I really wanted more of these storylines to be finished up so I could be left more satisfied at the end of this season. I was perfectly fine if they want to leave me with some open things. The Ezra thing, I was fine with leaving it open. But some of these other storylines, like the Balin and Shin stuff, should have had some type of conclusion, at least give us an idea of what's happening with them, more so than just this pan shot of them standing on a mountain or coming over to the nomad people or whatever that they did. That was my thought on that.
I have to jump in because you know what would have made that scene a little bit more forgiving is when he's standing on the mountain hand guy, right?
Yeah.
But then he's looking at the horizon or looking at the valley, wherever he was looking, and then something like shines, and he's like, "Oh, I found it!" Like that moment.
Yeah,
something. Like he does actually kind of see what he's looking for.
Yeah, he was just kind of like looking out,
just standing there.
Yeah. But yeah, so the other thing was now that we've talked about Balin extensively, we can also talk about Shin. Like Shin is a character that I really enjoyed throughout the course of this series, but I don't feel like I know any more about her from the time the series started to its end. Now, I do think that she has the potential to be a dope character. Now, at first, I was kind of like, really? She just going over to the Nomads to lead them? I guess. To do what? However, what else was she supposed to do? Her master left her.
Yeah.
Thrawn was gone. She doesn't want to just immediately join the rebels because she's been trying to kill them the entire time.
Right.
So really, like, if you're on a planet, she can either join the turtle people who she was already trying to kill, or she can try to lead the Nomads, right? So that's really the only choices the writers gave her. However, I do want to learn more about her because, similar to Merrick, her aesthetic is dope. So I don't want it to be thrown away, right?
Yeah.
I don't want it to just be by the wayside. And I'm sure they have a plan for her going forward. But the other part of it is that you would assume that Ahsoka, Sabine, and Hugh Yang are going to try to get off that planet eventually to get to the other side of the galaxy. However, they're going to do that. My theory is that they're going to go to the world between worlds and just kind of, skedaddle over to the other side of the universe. But then that leaves Shin behind with leading the Nomads, and also leading the Nomads once again to do what? Right? To what end? So I really like Shin as a character. I like Balin as a character. I would love to have seen a mini series with them about him training her and them coming up, even like a Star Wars Legends kind of thing. Right. I think that would have been cool if you do it animated. But at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it. And I know that we are talking about Balin, who Ray Stevenson did pass away. But DJ, you showed me a meme earlier of Liev Schreiber. Like looking like Ray Stevenson. And we all know that Liev Schreiber, who did he played Sabretooth in some of the X-Men movies and stuff like that. And he was also in HBO show that went on for, I think it might have been Showtime. Show that went on for a while. He's a really good actor.
Ray Donovan?
Ray Donovan,
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and I, like, the moment you showed it to me, or the moment I saw it in the Discord, I was like, that's actually not bad. That's actually, because he's big. He sounds like him, if I remember correctly, and he kind of looks like you could put the hair on him too.
With tone and voice, anyway. Yeah,
right. Yeah, you could
look like a younger version.
Yeah,
we just watched. I just watched the movie with you where it looked like they made a man look old like Master Roshi, and and that was back in the 70s. So if they can do that in the 70s, then
yeah, we watched. Me and DJ last night watched Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. It is the most insane movie I've ever seen in my entire life. It absolutely insane. Aliens, Godzilla, spies, the CIA, Interpol. It was crazy. Prophecies. Singing a song to waking up a kaiju. Like a full 3-minute song. She was just on that beach, on her knees singing. And we were just watching. It's like, they're just wasting time. Yeah. So let's get to some of these comments. So we don't get overrun. Okay, cool. I thought there wasn't going to be another season. I think there will be. It definitely sets it up for that, unless they're just going to go straight to a movie.
I didn't think they ever said there wasn't going to be.
Right. I didn't hear anything otherwise. Yeah.
Zach Attack says there's no urgency in the show. I can't disagree. Everybody's kind of like, hey, man, we'll get there when we get there, especially Sabine.
Yeah.
Jonathan says, am I wrong? I don't know. Jonathan also said, I thought this was setting up the next movie. I think that it is a part of the setup of the next movie, but I also don't know if this is going to be directly to the next movie.
But sure. I also hope that they weren't going into this with plans to, this is setting up a movie instead of another season. Right. Because how many movies have we had announced that get canceled 6 months later? Like that's
100%.
That's not a good recipe to go into that with.
Yeah. So Jason and Tim says, but love that ending that Thrawn won, that the heroes kind of failed in a sort of way. I agree.
I like that.
I was happy that Hugh Wang survived, for sure. Dragon Movie Guy says, what's up, fellas? What's up, Dragon Movie Guy? Thank you so much for joining the stream. Really appreciate you stopping through. Also, if you're in the stream now, please like the stream as well as subscribe to everyone's channel that's on your screen, and as well as in the comments, because most of the people in the comments, they have a YouTube channel also.
Right.
And so there's a lot of dope people and a lot of dope content in here. Movie Time Minute says they haven't said there's not. Cosmic Broadcast says knowing what the basic plot is for the movie kind of ruined the tension for me. We knew Thrawn was going to escape. There was no intrigue. It's like they played their hand before the game was over. I can understand where you're coming from, but I also think that it's akin to knowing that Infinity War is coming out and Black Panther comes out 2 months before that. It's like, is Black Panther going to be Black Panther survives this movie? What? There's no intrigue here. It's like, well, yeah, everybody knows he's going to be in
Infinity War, and we knew the Spider-Man movie, Far From Home, was coming out a couple months later, and then we see Spider-Man.
Right.
You know,
yeah. Yes, I don't really see it too different from that. It's not if they survive. Typically with these types of shows, it's how they survive. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but they called it a miniseries.
I don't think I ever heard them call Ahsoka a miniseries.
The first half of the season felt, oh my God, Thrawn. The second half felt, meh, we can party while he wins. Did they? I never saw that. I don't know why I'm doing your voice. You're right here.
That's just discourse between brothers right there. I mean, he's gonna try to. We'll probably argue off stream later. So,
Dragon Movie Guy says, I love Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, but wish they would have killed off Sabine. That's harsh. That's harsh. I know a lot of people, DJ, feel that way, but gosh, just
good Lord.
Why don't
I just read the rest of it?
We could just ask Dave Filoni to write his character the way he wrote her before. You know, we could do that. Seriously, they could have cast worse. Seriously, could they have cast a worse actress in the role? So I'm glad you brought that up. It's not the actress's fault. She played the role in the script that she was given. She didn't make up those words. She didn't act. She didn't make up those words. She didn't write the script. She didn't give the motivations for the character. Dave Filoni, who created the character in Rebels, also brought that same character over to this show, which he also created. So if there's a difference between the way that she acted in Rebels and the way that she acted here, the problem isn't the actress who was hired to do a job. The problem is Dave Filoni, who wrote his character in a completely different fashion than he wrote her before. So that would be my offering to that. Cosmic Broadcast, thank you, Jason. I appreciate you, man. I believe he's talking about Jason Entertainment, but we also appreciate Jason from Screens and Reviews.
Yeah, what's the so in Jason's it said nice stream and congratulations for the news. I jumped into Jonah's stream a little while ago, but I didn't see what news they're talking about. Did he make an announcement of some sort?
I want to say that I know what it is, but just in case I'm wrong, I don't.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch his stream because
I know what the announcement
setting up
would
for this,
be, but I don't want to be the person who says it and then be in trouble with Jonah. So I'll just leave it alone. Kenny, you clearly need to see more boxing movies. Start with Raging Bull, Requiem for a Heavyweight, and Great White Hype. So, of the 3 movies you named plus Rocky, I want you to take those and compare them to the 6 other Rocky movies and the 3 other Creed movies and Southpaw and every other boxing movie. But I definitely want to check those movies out as well. But I would guarantee you that it's probably a 70-30 split between if the main boxer wins. That would literally just be my guess. But I haven't seen Raging Bull, so I'm glad that you mentioned it because it's a movie I do want to see. Appreciate you, though.
Classic.
Thanks, Ken. I don't think it's Ash's fault. Correct. Oh, look at you, DJ. Ahead of the game.
I got you. I'm trying to keep an eye on Chad a little bit while he's going.
Yeah. Sabine was awesome. Sabine was definitely the most underwhelming part of the show. 100% DJ. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading things without putting them up. Not responding. She was the most underwhelming part of the show.
I wouldn't say that. Because even like in the beginning where she had her like devil may care, I don't care about anything attitude, right? Or I'm done with everything.
Yeah.
You know, I was cool with that, you know, and I think that as things went on, she didn't really shake it. You know what? And this might be a hot take, but
Mm.
Ahsoka, arguably, like she wasn't
She
changing
kind
much.
of played the background for most of this show.
She wasn't changing very much. If you there's
But
a
she
face
did this.
she makes. Yeah.
She did do that.
She
did do
makes
that.
a face that's like, I got you. I
Mhm.
know more than
And
you.
don't forget that other
The
time when she did
whole
this.
time. Episode 1, 2, 3, she's like,
I remember another time she did
oh,
this.
Yep, she's
Correct.
there
I
looking
remember that
and
too.
smirking, and the
Was that-
smirk was like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Was that the
okay,
Space Whale
okay.
one, DJ?
Yeah, when she did this.
Yeah. Or was
Yeah,
that the
and then-
one after she was talking to Huang about training Sabine?
No. That time she did this.
Yeah, right. She did the
Gotcha.
other way. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I thought it was the last scene of the episode where she was telling Sabine that, everything's okay. We're gonna be fine. Where he's like, didn't she do?
Yeah, she was doing this.
I lost track.
It's the huff. I call it the huff.
Right.
Just like that.
And so hello, Jonah, Bo-Katan. Yep, that's exactly what we were talking about. And what's up with all the characters wearing awful contact lenses to change eye color? You know what's funny? They stood out. They didn't look natural. They didn't bother me all that much, but they didn't look natural either. Especially, I think Thrawn was fine. Ezra's was the one that was like, those aren't your eyes.
So I thought the opposite.
Oh, yeah?
even looking at Ezra, I thought his eyes were fine, pretty little light glistening and all that, right? But then on Thrawn, I noticed when I was looking at him, it was like, how like you look at when they're wearing contacts and they're not in place, and it looked like your eyes are going like that a little bit. I got that effect a little bit.
Well, they both bothered me, so
I got you, Dragon. I feel you on that, Dragon.
Well, for Thrawn, I was like, there's a Visine for that. You know what I mean? So,
oh man,
yeah, I don't know if you guys are. I think I just dated myself.
I was blinded by Ezra's blue eyes.
Cosmic Broadcast Jonas says I was blinded by Ezra's blue eyes.
They were kind of the equivalent to Robert Pattinson in Twilight when he stepped into the sun. That was the way Ezra's eyes looked.
Gleaming.
The Twilight twinkle.
Jonas Smith, Brother Minute says at the end of Rebels, he tasked Sabine with becoming a Jedi. Why would he take the lightsaber bag after you said that? That's saying he had no faith in her. I think DJ was just joking about that. About needing to take it back from her.
He didn't take the lightsaber back. But to that point too, if he has faith in her, then why did he make a joke about
her training
and her training it or training? Yeah, because he's like,
what did he say? He's like, she did. You?
Right.
Yeah.
He looked confused, like, what?
Yeah.
So
he was all
like
of
he
us.
had faith in her. Yeah.
Ezra is cooler than Luke.
I agree with that. It depends on how you mean it.
I'm gonna get Star Wars canceled.
If you're talking about like just as a character, but if you're talking about the things he's done, I might disagree with you. But if you're talking about like just as a character, yeah, he's a little cooler.
I'm gonna get canceled for this, but Luke isn't cool until like the midpoint until he meets Yoda. Before that, he's just a whiny.
He's a whiny little boy. Yeah.
Outside of the one scene when he blows up the Death Star, I did like Luke.
Oh yeah, I mean
that was after.
Yeah. Sabine had already trained. It had been a few years. So like riding a bike, it sure as heck didn't.
She didn't look like it. That's a rough bike.
That's a crazy bike. Okay, so does anyone else think of the group better than Ezra? Whenever Sabine starts whining about that character, does anyone else think of the group better than Ezra when Sabine starts whining about that character? I got to be honest, I'm not familiar with that. So I'll move on to this one. So Cosmic Broadcast says, that wasn't 20 minutes of combat. Luke had one moment of connecting with the Force at the Death Star, Sabine fought an army and forced a little forced up to the grown man. Before that, she was Force lacking. Here's the thing about that: she was already a Mandalorian, so she was already used to fighting people. So it's
Right.
not like she came
She had
off
the gun power.
Spawn. Yeah, she could shoot. She
Yeah.
like so, and the two things that she did aren't nowhere near what Luke did. She lifted a lightsaber to herself, and then Force pushed Ezra. He blew up the Death Star with a half day's worth of training. He's like, use the Force. He's like, all right, and then just shot.
Like,
And
okay.
just shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's after evading Darth Vader in the little tunnel crevice in the Death Star. What's up, dudes? What's
Hey,
up, dude?
cousin minutes.
Cousin minutes.
All my family
best,
dropping by tonight.
Zach Attack says her best fight was in Mando. Versus Morgan. Yeah, that was a good fight. That was a dope fight. Okay, I'm out. Peace out. All right, brother Minutes. Talk to you soon.
I'll see you online in a little bit, probably.
Dylan says, all right, cousin Minutes. See you soon. I was thinking that. I just didn't want to say. Zach Attack says, now I know how people feel when they watch MCU stuff without watching everything.
Yeah.
That's a good comparison. Jonah says, have to head to bed as well. Great stream, y'all. All right, so with that being said, I'm just going to say let's spend like 5 minutes just wrapping up how we feel about the season, and then let's move on to Loki because we know that All right, so Jason, why don't you start?
Yep.
How you felt about the season in its entirety?
I mean, I liked it. Man. It was good to see, especially being someone who doesn't have the Star Wars background of watching Rebels and the rest of it. I thought it was a good show. It was entertaining. Obviously it didn't not have its issues, you know what I mean? But what show doesn't here or there, right? But as a Star Wars property, I liked it. This would definitely be, I would say, of all the Star Wars shows, definitely fits in top 5.
Makes sense to me. Yeah. It's top 5
or seasons. Even because I'm thinking like Mando season 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. That makes sense. DJ, how'd you feel about it?
Yeah, so I've given a lot of negative comments toward this, but I actually did really enjoy this show. If you look back at the first 5 episodes of my quick reviews, my short videos, I put out some pretty positive reviews for the show. I didn't like the way it ended, not particularly anyway. There were some parts I was fine with. But overall, I still think this is a good time. I think on my review, I gave it on my minute scale of 60 seconds, how many minutes out of 6 seconds out of 60 seconds I would score this. I think I gave it a 43, which is like almost a 75%. So, I mean, that's pretty positive to me, I think, for a Star Wars show when most of them I haven't really liked on these live action shows. So, even with what negatives I have, I still think this is a very solid show.
Yeah, I had a good time with this show. I think someone put it in the perfect way. Actually, it was Zach Milne. He actually put it the perfect way on, I think it was Threads I saw him. He said, Ahsoka was fine. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Ahsoka was fine. It was fine. But fine isn't always, it was good. Like, I had a good time watching this show. I don't have any complaints about it. Well, that's not true. I have plenty of complaints about it, but none of the complaints I have about it override the good time that I had with it, right? A lot of the things that were really great about the show were the characters in some senses, even though they made some, questionable decisions. But on top of that, it felt like Star Wars. There was nothing about it that was like, this doesn't feel like Star Wars. So I had a really good time with the show, and I'd be excited for a season 2. I hope they give it a season 2 instead of just going straight to a movie, because I would like to spend more time with these characters growing and developing together before we get to Filoni's Infinity War. So overall, I think the show is a success. I think Disney would believe that it's a success as well, just based on people's response to it. But yeah, could there be improvements for season 2? I sure hope so. I do hope that they recast Balin, because I do want to see where that storyline does end up going.
I think someone asked about that Balin recasting here on the things in a minute too.
Okay.
If they haven't already.
Awesome. Yeah.
I don't
So
think we've read that yet.
gotcha. Oh yeah. So we'll definitely get to more of the comments. But yeah. So overall, I would say out of all the Star Wars seasons individually, if I'm just doing a top 5, I would say Mando season 2, Mando season 1, Ahsoka. What else was there? Live action.
Andor.
Oh, Andor.
Andor, actually, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Mando season 1, Mando season 2, Andor, Ahsoka.
Oh, Boba Fett.
We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Boba Fett. Horrible. And then I would honestly go, if my number 5, Obi-Wan. It was up and down, but it wasn't nearly as disjointed as Mando season 3, and it was nowhere near as bad as Book of Boba Fett. That was the worst. Anyway, so want to end this on a positive note. So I'm looking forward to whatever Star Wars comes up with next, which is actually really funny because we have not a clue other than the movie. Can you guys tell me the next Star Wars thing to come out?
Is Acolyte not the next one, or Skeleton Crew one of those? I'm not sure.
Oh yeah. That's right.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure which of those is first, but
I think that those have filmed and are filming. So, well, they were before the strike.
Yeah,
but
process of it anyway. I think
I'm pretty sure Acolyte wrapped up.
It may have.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that's
I
it.
do think that's supposed to be the next one.
Yeah. So that's it. Those are my thoughts on Ahsoka. This was the screen I was meaning to go to beforehand. But yeah, so that's it. And with that, thank you, Loki guys or Ahsoka people for watching. And we're going to move on to Loki.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's do that. Going to have a little bit of a transition. Bye-bye.
Nice.
Oh, look at that.
See, Loki's right here in the middle. I was worried that we wouldn't have any Loki.
Perfect.
Yeah. So let's talk about Loki season 2, episode 1. The first thing, actually, before we get to that, I'm going to go through a little bit of comments just to end off Ahsoka, and then we'll get to the rest of this. And we're not going to spend too much time on Loki, only because there wasn't much in this episode.
Not a lot.
But all right, Jason Entertainment says, honestly, I'm conflicted with this show because it's supposed to be a Ahsoka show, but I don't think I know more of her. At this point, they should just greenlit Rebel season 5. I don't disagree. To the Thrawn information, when he said nobody informed Thrawn.
So Jonathan was talking about how does Thrawn know what's happening if he's like off in a distant galaxy, and I think I told him that I think the witches had something to do with it because maybe they had allowed him to see further or gave him news of things that were happening outside his galaxy.
That makes the most sense. 80s Kid says, I can't wait to see the look on Zhang's face when he sees Ezra and hears Thrawn is back. That's another thing. That dude didn't get wrapped up either, but I'm sure Chopper will pack him up the next time we see him. You guys don't know Chopper as well, but he's basically a murder bot.
Apparently, he's force sensitive too, because it seemed like he knew that Ezra was Ezra underneath that outfit before.
Yeah, he came right up to him, right?
Yep, sure did.
No fear.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Doing a little something here.
Doing a little something. Must not be a lot of people that have. Everybody's gone to bed on it.
I think honestly, he's just loyal.
Yeah.
The witches are just loyal to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they could totally take him out.
For sure.
I think they're just loyal right now, just playing their part. Yeah.
Well, the thing with him is like they needed him to ship back their Night Sisters, who are all in those coffins, back to the other universe. So they don't know how to fly a ship. So
it's like we kind of need you for transport,
Yeah. Word is season 2 is a go. Awesome. Love the live stream, guys. Got a jet. Thanks for joining us, Dragon Movie Guy. I've seen online that people have been recast Balin. Would you agree with that? We're recast for sure.
Yeah, recast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Zach says you, DJ, you're the go for that. Oh yeah, we talked about DJ's.
Did you go back to the beginning?
Wow, no. I did that when DJ was making that joke. Dark Room Movies says, fellas, just popping in and say hello. Thank you so much for stopping by and joining us, Dark Room. I saw episode 6, and overall, I was satisfied with the outcome. The season felt lightly salted and not over the top. I expect season 2 should step up. I'm assuming he means he saw episode 8. Usually, the Disney Plus shows are only 6 episodes, so that's that makes sense. Actually, I really think that all of them, except for like WandaVision, probably should have been 8 episodes. Ahsoka came off as the wise Jedi, LL, just because she was trained by Anakin. She thinks she's the GOAT. Yeah.
I mean, that's a good teacher. I mean, dang.
The thumbnail should have been you guys posing like Ahsoka. That's
all of us just that would have been good.
Really funny. But kidding, the thumbnail is nice. And 80s Kid says bye. All right, 80s Kid, have a good night, dude. So let's cover who are we? Let's cover Loki real quick.
Okay.
And let's move on to Loki side's questions.
Awesome.
Loki episode 1, 4 banners. Awesome. Okay. So let's start with this. I just want to hear from each one of you guys what you guys thought about Loki season 1. Let's start there, and then we'll go into Loki season 2.
I'll let you carry it away, Deej.
Yeah. Loki season 1 I thought was an enjoyable Disney Plus show. I didn't love it as much as most people I feel like love that show. But it is like in the upper tier of Marvel Disney Plus shows to me. I found about half of the episodes to be pretty boring. And the one episode with them on the train or the bus, whatever that, I think it was a train, that one just about killed me. Like I couldn't hardly sit through that episode. Outside of that, I thought the way they told story, the way they explained the time and the
time displacement,
the
multiverse.
Yeah, with the multiverse, everything they explained toward the beginning with why they're purging and everything at the end with Jonathan Major's character. I thought, or He Who Remains, I thought that was all really cool stuff. I thought that one was one of the few Disney Plus shows that I feel like ended on a strong note. And that's rare, so that bumps it up some. So I enjoyed the first season, and it was enough that I was actually excited for a second season for it. So
Jason, what you think?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. You know, it's the slow. It was the unveiling of everything for me. The he gets kind of arrested. You're learning about the variants and the thing about the first season of him seeing other Lokis. So it's like they told you about the variants, but then they actually showed you with the main character that they're showing you. Brings it all, allows you to understand it better. So I couldn't wait for this season because of season 1, and everything with the TVA. It's like I just wanted to know more, and what they showed me just kept me creeping towards Kang, wanting to see what him and everything else. It's funny because even in season 1 I was a little let down that we didn't see Kang, but it was like the He Who Remains, you know what I mean, like the variant of him. But overall I think it was great, and the introduction of Sylvie, there was more yes than no, if I can say that. Oh, look who's joining us, guys.
Somebody woke up. You want to say hi?
You want to say hi? He's on.
Y'all give me a minute. I'm going to bring him back to bed.
You're good, man. Yeah.
No problem, man.
Handle that, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, like for me, I essentially really felt like the first season of Loki was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's my number 1 Disney Plus show. And with WandaVision coming in second, because those are the two, to me, those are the two best shows.
Yeah.
So with that, I really feel like they did a good job introducing variants, like you mentioned. They did a really good job doing world building and introducing
Hmm.
these characters and
Right.
introducing like concepts that we can now hold on to going forward. Now we know what the TVA is. Now we know what variants are. Now we
Yep.
understand the branching of the universe. We have all this information that we learned while watching the show. So we left the show not only entertained but also informed and thinking about, okay, so how does this apply to the larger MCU in the future? That
Right.
question there has yet to be seen because they've gotten to the multiverse between TV shows and the movies in at least 3 or 4 different ways. So there has been
Right.
no consistency with that. But there's many ways to get to the Brooklyn Bridge. I don't know that for a fact. I'm not an expert on the Brooklyn Bridge, but with that with that being said, I really do like Loki season 1. So I was excited to go into season 2. So now we're on season 2. Episode 1 was tonight, just a few hours ago. DJ, are you good to go and tell us what you thought about the episode first?
Yeah. So I thought the episode was solid. I thought it laid some groundwork for this new season. Picked up right where the last one left off, and I thought that was a good thing because we're really just continuing the story. Um, that's pretty much it. I think it was solid.
Yeah. I felt the same way. I thought it was a great reintroduction to the new season. They gave us a lot of things to have questions about, and while also giving us an entertaining sequence at the end where Mobius is trying to make sure that Loki can avoid like time displacement, which we'll
Yeah.
talk about in a little bit. I
Hmm.
did think that they introduced time displacement, and in the trailer they made it seem like it was going to be a season-long thing, but it seems to be over now. They seem to have resolved the time displacement thing already, so that's really interesting. And we're moving on to something else. What that something else is, I'm not really sure. However, I'm interested in seeing what that will be. And the thing that I like the most about this episode is that we don't know what's coming up, right?
Yeah.
The thing I like the most about this show is that we don't know how it's going to end. I think the biggest thing with the TVA thus far or I think the biggest thing with the Loki show thus far is that it seems to be the most important show that has come out on Disney Plus because it's introducing those multiverse concepts, but it doesn't seem to be translating to the big screen. We have no idea how Loki's going to play out going forward, but this really does seem to be the most important show that they're doing because they're dealing directly with Kang. They introduce us the variants, so then when we go to the movies and see multiverse, we know that those people are variants, right? So this show seems to be the most important thing that they put on Disney Plus so far. That's not most entertaining or most such and such and such. That's up to you guys to decide. But I do think that this is the most important show. So with that being said, let's get into a little bit of details with the episode. Actually, Jason, did you give your thoughts?
On the first episode?
First season.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. So yeah. Hey, Mama Minutes is in the chat.
Hey,
Mama Minutes.
Yeah, of course she jumps in to see the kiddo.
Of course. Got to check out the kiddo. So yeah, so let's deal with some of the different topics. So Loki, essentially, we catch up with Loki exactly where he left off. He was basically not time displaced, but he was basically in a different timeline where Kang statue was reigning supreme over everything. And he was trying to understand why Mobius didn't remember him. And yeah, he was trying to understand why Mobius didn't remember him and why the cop, the other TVA agent, whose name I never remember.
I'll make enough noise for you.
Whose
That's
name I
fine,
can't
man.
remember. But she did play.
Oh, you mean the Hunter? You mean the Hunter?
Yeah, the Hunter.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
She's dope. I love that character. But yeah, so So they're trying to figure out who the hell is he. He's trying to figure out who the hell are they. And essentially, he ends up time displacing, which I thought originally meant he was going to different universes because that's what it looked like. But it looks like he was actually just going different points in time. So now that I understand that, I think that he just showed up. Actually, no, I'm confused. Yeah,
I mean, go ahead. Mhm.
Yeah. So I think that time
Sorry.
changed. Yeah, I think two things happened. The timeline changed because now Kang is supreme ruler, or Kang is seen as supreme ruler because of the statue. Secondly, he's actually time traveling in that new reality as well. Right. So that's basically where we find him. Where he ends up is meeting with Mobius, explaining to him what's going on. Mobius is like, "Oh, you're time displacing." They meet with Kihu Kwan, who was awesome and also
he was
addition
awesome.
to the show. And he's essentially, I actually never really figured out what his job was. What he actually.
Oh, I thought he was like a tech guy. Like
Yeah,
anything broken, he would try to fix.
Yeah. He's a tech guy. He set up. He pretty much set up the barriers for the brains, the timeline, right? To make sure that nothing goes crazy. Although his memory was continuously erased, and as was Mobius. Oh no, Mobius's memory was continuously erased of actually meeting him, which was kind of crazy. So they go through that. They found out that Loki's time displaced. They help solve that issue quickly within the show, just like we were saying. He sees Sylvie again at the end of the episode and basically gets pruned. The question is, who pruned him? Because I don't think it was Sylvie, or maybe it was. Because it looked like he got pruned in the back and she was standing in front of him.
Yeah.
Right? So, who knows? So, that's going to be interesting. And then the post-credit scene is Sylvie going to McDonald's for the first time in 1982 in a different universe because they made sure to write in the text that it's a time displaced universe. So she's in a McDonald's in a different McDonald's. So I don't even know if they have Big Macs. Big Macs are overrated in general, so who really cares? That's personal opinion. But yeah, so that's pretty much the episode. So let's get to some of the topics that we have here, and let's talk about Loki time slipping. DJ, why don't you take on that?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool the effects they used for this. In an
it was
MCU
weird,
where
right?
in an MCU where I'm not usually impressed with effects lately. I thought they did a really good job with like the whole, and maybe it's just because I was watching Mechagodzilla with you last night and seeing the transformation with those guys. Maybe that affected this and made this look that much better.
Rubber suits.
Yep. Yeah. So it was really cool to see that. I thought it was an interesting concept. The going back in time, forward in time, even further in time, back to where he was, all that kind of stuff, and how they resolved the time slipping, I thought was really neat too. Although convenient at the end of it. But.
Yeah. Jason, what do you think?
Yeah. So I mean, because I agree with both of you. One, DJ, for the effect, it was great, right? And Ken, I agree with you on the fact about I thought that it was going to be him doing that throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
And but then when I was watching it, it was like he was just just in the same place going in the past, in the future. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when I saw Victor Timely and the olden days, you know what I mean? I thought that he was actually time slipping to those places.
Same. That's what I thought the whole thing was going to be. Right.
So I was kind of like a little confused. But he was just going back and forth. So it was like, remember he crashed the flying car thing through the window, and the thing fell on the floor. Then he zipped back. It was like, to the present, and it was like, oh, that crack has been there ever since I could remember. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like he was affecting the TVA. I'm sorry to keep hitting this mic, y'all.
It's all good.
the TVA time stream. I mean, it was cool, and but I kind of wish we had gotten more from that. You know, I wasn't too satisfied with it just being in one place. Who knows? Maybe something happens where he does do that, or he's trying to. But now I think what's going to happen is they solve his time displacement, and then they just go after uh Kang variants pretty much because they mentioned that millions are coming, so they're going to try to get
Yep.
rid of them. Obviously, I think. But yeah, that was a little bit of a letdown. I'm going to be honest.
Hmm.
I thought he was going to do more with that, like go back in time, forward in time, different places, you know, different multiverses. But
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, for sure. The time displacement was cool. Like you said, DJ, like the effects of it were nasty. Like they looked disgusting, but it actually, from a practical standpoint of looking good, it looked good. You know what I mean? So they did a really good job with
It
that.
could have been
Uh,
very goofy. I mean,
it very
right,
well could have been. Yeah. So
right.
I think we've seen some like goofy versions of that before, right? It kind of gave me like Doctor Who vibes when they had like
mm,
different monsters and stuff like that on that show that looked
Mm,
disgusting. Like I don't know if you guys have ever watched Doctor Who, but there's one character whose face or body the skin is essentially just stretched out. That's exactly how he looked in those situations.
hmm,
But yeah, I thought overall, yeah, the time displacement thing, maybe it does come back and it's not fully healed yet. But it definitely seemed like that mission is telling us that's it. That's the end of it.
right.
And now they're going to go forward and look for Sylvie, um, which we'll discuss later, I'm sure. But I think in that point, they're going to find he who remains or Victor. No, he's dead. Or Victor
Yeah.
Timely.
Yep.
Moving on, because I think we can just run through this really.
Mm-mm.
Mobius and Loki dynamic. DJ, you wrote
yeah.
these, right?
So
So
yeah, I
go for it.
did. So this to me was one of the strongest aspects of the first season. These two
Agreed.
guys together are phenomenal.
Yeah,
And I feel like
I
that picked
forget it's
right back
Owen
up in
Wilson sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it picked right back up in this season in this first episode because every time they're on screen together, it's just golden.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm engaged with every conversation they're having. Um, it just seems like they're brothers. I mean, like
Right.
it just fits. It really does,
yeah.
that's really why I put that in there, just because I wanted to touch on that continues to be a strong point in the show already.
Yep.
I totally agree. I think that their both of their performances, especially Owen Wilson, which it wasn't a person I would ever thought to be. Oh, Owen Wilson will be in the MCU, but when he was cast in the first season, and when I saw him in the trailer, I was like, oh, that looks really cool. Because honestly, I don't think we had seen Owen Wilson in many things for a while before he came back to being in Loki. So it was
Yep.
actually pretty cool to see him come back in the show and not just be like a one-off kind of thing where,
And
oh,
he's and he still hasn't said wow one time throughout Loki.
I feel like he's like, I'm going to save it for the right time. I feel like
Right.
Kang's
When
going
he
to
gets his jet
grow
ski,
when he gets his jet ski. Yes. That's when he's going to.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. Yo, that's a
Wow.
great call. That is a great call, DJ. Yeah, yeah, he's definitely going to say when he gets his jet ski. But yeah, so yeah, I think that dynamic is strong as it's ever been. I think that he's just a really good actor. And I think he's been underrated for a long time. But seeing him in this semi-serious role, he actually looks like he has. I mean, he always probably has, but
Mm-hmm.
great acting chops because he's doing a really good job. And I'm actually
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing like what his future is in the MCU. If he makes it out of the Loki series to be like on the big screen, I think that he could
Hmm.
be a great character to interact with other characters.
I think he's going to pop up
Yeah,
in Deadpool.
you know what? I think that they are dealing with the TVA in Deadpool.
Yeah.
If
Right.
That makes sense
I
too.
hear
yeah,
that. I hear that
yeah,
going around. Hmm.
yeah. So speaking of hearing, um, Jason, why don't you tell us what you thought about the dynamic?
Yeah. I mean, you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head. Ever since the first season, them two, I'm just happy that it works.
Yeah,
I think the
I like
best
them more
moment.
than Loki and Sylvie.
Yeah.
I same because I think they have more comedic beats. You
Yep.
know, but It's I think the best scene was when he was shifting and he was like, "What does it feel like?" He's like, "Well, what does it look like?"
Yeah.
Right.
He said, "Look like you're dying and being born at the same time." Like that was hilarious. Yeah, I love it.
That whole back and
Yeah.
forth with my skin's gonna get ripped off. He's like,
Right,
yeah,
right.
well, I'm gonna go spaghetti or whatever.
Oh, that was
Right, right.
hilarious.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You
That's
know
good
what?
stuff.
I'm actually happy that the show writers saw that worked and just continued on.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
didn't try to lessen it or you know what I mean, make it different. They just let
Like
them do their
I
thing.
hope they're together most of the season, and then I
Same.
hope in future MCU projects that Loki somehow winds up meeting back up with Thor in the future again, and I hope
Mm.
Thor is jealous of Loki and Mobius's
And having the relationship.
relationship. Yes, like
That'd be hilarious.
I think that is definitely possible because I know that I saw the showrunner for Loki was saying the goal for Marvel is to put Loki and Thor back together, which I think is really
Mm.
interesting.
yeah, especially since this ain't the same Loki. I mean, not really.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So they're gonna have to like reconcile that, and yeah. So yeah, so I thought that their dynamic was great. I'm glad that you mentioned the skin peeling thing because that was a hilarious bit. It was like
And
I
they
felt
used comedy really good in this episode.
100%.
yeah, totally agree. They've never really overdone it in this series so far. So
Right.
I really do enjoy that. Meeting Obi. Yeah, so Obi, DJ, once again, why don't you take this one away? Because I know Kiyu Kwan is your guy.
Kiyu Kwan is I don't know how much praise I can give Kiyu Kwan for the things he's done the last couple of years. And when I heard he was going to be in this show, I was just like over the moon excited. And he did not
Mhm.
disappoint because from
Yeah.
the opening scene we see him in here in this season, like he crushed it. And his comedy's great. His serious tones when he does get serious for a moment is great. The back and forth, the confusion whenever he's like, "Oh, I don't remember that. Oh, I do
Right, right,
remember
right.
that." Like
Right.
that kind of stuff. It was so on point, and I think this is a great addition to the show. I hope he's not just a one and done episode thing. I hope we get to
Right.
see his character a lot more
Yep.
as we go forward. So. Because if we do, I'm going to be excited every time I see him, just based on what we got out of him here.
Yeah.
That's
I'm really
yeah.
go ahead, Jason.
Oh, sorry, DJ. I wanted to piggyback off of you. But you're absolutely right. I think that we need to see more of him, even if it's just like we don't see him, but then it's like, oh, there's a piece of technology they need, or something needs to be fixed, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just for him to pop in, I would love to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually do believe that he'll be seen more in the rest of this series. Partly because I don't think that they would have put him in the trailer if he wasn't going to be in the rest of the series.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise it would have been like, a one-off stunt casting. Oh,
Yeah.
look, it's Q Kwan. But he's
Yeah, we
really
got an Oscar winner, guys. See? Okay,
right.
goodbye. Yeah.
Oscar winner. Yeah. Just like Christopher Lloyd was in Mando season 3, and he was never
Right.
announced. He just showed up.
Right.
And so did Lizzo and Jack Black, which is a whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
That episode was horrible.
I didn't mind it.
Didn't either.
I didn't mind it. Yeah.
It wasn't Lizzo.
I also didn't mind Mando season 3 as much as other people.
I enjoyed Mando season 3. I thought that episode was horrible. However, it wasn't Lizzo that was the reason. It wasn't Jack Black. And it wasn't Christopher Lloyd. It was just the writing of the episode, and when it took place, it was kind of like, why are we doing this anyway? But yeah, so what was it? Yeah, so Obi, I was really happy to see him too. He had great comedic timing, and you know what? It kind of makes me upset because when you've watched him in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and you've watched him in this show, and you hear him talk about how he couldn't find any work in Hollywood for decades, it's really like, yo, what are y'all doing?
What could we have had over the last 30 years that we didn't get?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because he's such a pleasant presence
Mm-hmm.
every time you see him, whether it's real life and he's not acting or when he's on screen and he is acting. He's an incredibly pleasant presence. I was trying not to fumble my words there. But yeah,
he
so
did a roundtable with a bunch of the Oscar actors right before the Oscars this last year, and him
yeah,
just talking about how appreciative he is just to be at that table with all those other guys. I mean, it'd bring you to
yeah.
tears just hear
Yeah.
him talk about it. You know?
He's so
And then for
humble.
him to
Yeah,
win, right?
yeah,
That
yeah.
man, I'm happy for him.
That's
So
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
so Loki. We're going to get to this last part here because, like we said, there's really not a lot to this episode. Like they did do a lot, but there wasn't necessarily a lot. So, there's one other thing that happened in this episode that I do think is important. Um, the the entire timeline branch, they're expanding. Not only are they expanding, but they're twisting and wrapping up, and they look like they are under a lot of, I guess you could call it, pressure, right? So it
Yeah.
seems like if that keeps happening, it seems like the timeline is going to constrict and eventually break. And then there's a big discussion between all the people in the TVA about whether or not they should tell everyone else that they're actually variants. Now, I think that's an important part of the show because I think that is going to last throughout the entirety of the rest of the season because that's a big question to bring up. And all those people are still there. And there are people there like Hunter and Loki and Mobius who know what the truth is about what's going on. And there's
Yeah.
also the managers, I guess you could call them,
Mhm.
of the TVA who the one young lady in the wheelchair, she was like, okay, so I'm the boss. We need to tell everybody. And then there's the other one who kind of went rogue, was like, no, we need to just go kill Sylvie so we can
Right.
maintain the status quo. That's
Mhm.
going to be a big part of the rest of this series. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And I'm also, if you guys also notice on the radio, when he's playing the recording from Kang, Kang is talking to Renslayer about thank you for joining me, thank you for being my partner in this.
Right.
And in the comics, they're actually romantically involved. He
Mm.
actually sacrifices a lot just to get to her, right? So, and like they're together in the
Mhm.
comics. So seeing that relationship, even through radio, is building up in this show. I'm curious to see where that goes because remember at the end of the last season, she just dipped off,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming that she found Victor Timely or she found Kang or she found some variant of him. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And last thing I'll say about it is um, Loki, Mobius, and the rest of them continue to point to Kang as he's coming. He's on his way. They're on their way. So I'm wondering if at the end of this show, similar to Thrawn, Kang's going to win. He's going to get out more than he's been out before.
Mm.
So yeah, those are kind of my questions. I guess I was doing the questions and theories thing without knowing it, but those are my questions and theories for I guess the season. But for episode 2, I have no idea where
Yeah.
they're going. Yeah, yeah,
So, I mean, questions, theories. See, that's what I like about Loki because you don't know what's coming next.
right.
Um, but if I had to say, I mean, I guess if there's one thing that I want to know, it would be that duality that you spoke of, Ken. How one person wants to stop everything and she understands what's going on and
Mhm.
believes them or whatnot, but then the other one who's just marching through the door with all these hunters. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that's gonna be very interesting. Um, so is it that the one that wants to stop Sylvie, is it that they feel like she's the reason
Yeah, they think because she killed he who remains that
that all of this stuff? Okay.
she's the main cause. If they feel like if they kill her, they can get back to the status quo because she's going to go around telling everyone
Ah,
you're a variant. You're not
right,
like you weren't made here in the TVA. You know what I mean?
right.
So they fear Sylvie and what she can do because they feared her from the beginning of season 1. So and she's continue to proven to be exactly what they feared her to be. So,
right.
yeah,
I just wasn't sure of their motivations for even going after her. You
yeah,
know, I would think they would, because they were focused on Mobius and Hunter 15, I
hmm
believe it is,
yeah.
and then Loki. So
I think it's B-15. Yeah,
B15, that's what it is. Yeah, I actually
yep.
have her somewhere
Funko
here.
Pop.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
I got all the Loki ones.
same.
Yep. Anyway, yep.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Yep. Yes, that is a cheese grater.
Alligator Loki was hard to find.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I didn't even get them. But
I've
yeah.
seen a couple of them in our stores nearby, and I've skipped out on all the
Oh
Loki
wow.
Pops.
Yeah, I gotta get that. That's cool. Funko Pops are surprisingly cheap.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. So we'll get to you real quick, DJ. But my only other theories for the season is that we find out how powerful Miss Minutes really is.
Right.
Because I didn't trust her from the first 30 seconds of episode 1. I was like, she up to something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is that's it. So DJ, play us a love song.
Yeah. So, and you said Miss Minutes. Tara Strong is so good in that role, by the way.
She is
really, really good.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
I don't have a whole lot to say here. I feel like most of what we got in the trailers, we've already seen in the show now.
Right.
Mhm.
Most of the trailer was his first
Which is
episode.
great.
I know, and that's why I thought, like you were saying, Jason, that I thought the time slipping thing was going to be a bigger deal for this season because it was so dominant in that trailer. And now that that's over, it's like I have no idea what to expect now for the season because everything I thought the show was going to be about is like I thought that was going to be a major point to it. And maybe even like another power of his now. He's going to be able to jump through time or something. You know, I thought that was going to be like a thing. I mean, it may still. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
That would be kind of cool.
But yeah, I think I don't have a clue. I'm sitting here trying to make up stuff and think of stuff, and I don't know where the show is going to go from here.
I have a question. I mean, before we wrap up, it's like, do you think that's a good thing?
That we don't know?
I kind of like the idea of not knowing.
Yeah.
But the fact that like everything you've seen in the trailer was pretty much in episode, 1, maybe we might get some more in 2.
Yeah, because I know we're still going to see Sylvie in her McDonald's outfit because that was in the trailer too.
Okay.
We got a tease. We got a tease for that coming now. So
okay, so she's gonna get a job or something. What the heck?
Yeah.
What? I mean, like, you know what I mean? What is she doing? Maybe she wants normalcy.
No, I think she's stuck in 82. I don't think she can get out of it.
Oh,
yeah, but yeah. So I don't remember the question. What was the question?
Oh, so because we've seen most of the trailer
in
the show, do you think does that bother you at all, or do you think it's a good thing that we're like in the dark still? Yeah.
No, that actually encourages me because what that tells me is there's a lot of stuff that they are trying to keep under wraps because it's a big deal.
Right.
And one of my theories for this season is we're going to start seeing some of the bigger MCU players throughout the series. I was kind of waiting for someone like a time to play Shang-Chi or a time to play Moon Knight or someone to show up in this episode. But I think that that's going to happen throughout the rest of the series. I'm not saying it's going to happen every episode, but I think at some point we are going to run into some of our characters that are outside of this show. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what that looks like. So yeah, I think that they're hiding those things for very good reason. And even the thing that you mentioned, DJ, of seeing Sylvie in a McDonald's suit, that tells us absolutely nothing about what's going to be happening.
Right.
Because she could be in that suit for literally 10 seconds. They come see her. What are you doing working here? Come with us. And she'll leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's not like she's confused about who she is. You know,
right.
I think the funny thing for her character will be something like she tasted everything at McDonald's and loved it so much that she decided to work there and was like, I'm never leaving this place. That would be hilarious. Because if you remember, her history is she was supposed to be killed as a child because she was born a woman version of Loki instead of being born a male version of Loki. So she was born in Asgard, and she's been on the run since she was a child. So she never really got to enjoy the splendidness of McDonald's or anything like that. So
right.
yeah. And with that being said, I think we're good for wrapping up unless anyone else had some final thoughts. But yeah, I think that we'll have a lot more to talk about next episode, because I think next episode they'll really kick it off and start kicking things into high gear. Thankfully, next week as well, we'll only be covering one show. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And so everyone who's on the stream, I'm going to start with you, Jason. Just want to hear, tell us about your channel and where we can find you. Give me 1 second so I can. Oh, that's me. So I can solo you out. Oh, sorry. Oh, duh. Here it is.
Hey guys, yep, Screen Zen here. You can find me on YouTube at Screen Zen Reviews, also on Twitter and all social media, really. The channel is going through some changes. I'm trying to give more content, some shorts, also school. Be on the lookout for School Day Classics, where I'm reviewing. There's a poll out that I actually closed, but you can kind of see what I'm going to be reviewing from my childhood. So excited to give you all of that. But yeah, come by the channel, like, subscribe if you like what you see. And it was great being here with the MovieTubers. Love you guys. Great.
Love you too, man. All right, let's move over to DJ. Play us a love song.
Hey guys, Movie Time Minute. This has been a blast. Of course, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Movie Time Minute, most social media places. And I've got some new content coming. Hopefully this weekend I've got 2 different movie reviews, both of them kind of kid-friendly. One of them is my Does It Hold Up video, and it's going to be on Fox and the Hound, the classic Disney movie. So that's going to be fun to do, and should be out tomorrow or the next day. And same thing, I'm working on a review right now for Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2, just because I had a lot of fun with that movie, and I didn't expect to. So that's a great family movie to watch, and I'm excited to get that review out for you too this week.
Awesome. And I'm crooked. It's too late. And I'm Kenny Sparks at Kenny Sparks. My channel will be posting, I will be posting the creator review tomorrow finally, as well as Outlaw Johnny Black will be posted over the weekend. And Haunting in Venice may be posted this weekend as well. I'm in the midst of editing Acting, which is a show that me and Jason did together, an episode me and Jason did together, where we talk about Denzel Washington and his one of the final scenes in Flight, where he is acting his behind off. So can't wait for you guys to see that. I'll be working on that over the weekend, as well as bringing you guys Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla Unseen Movie Marathon review next week. Early next week, you'll see that. I believe that those may be moving to bi-weekly instead of weekly, so I can have time to work on some of those other series. And yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining the MovieTubers tonight. That's me, Ken, Jason, and DJ, and we will see you on the noonday. Peace.
Later.